is very important to us.
You're listening to Team Call with Beaxy, your direct line into daily conversations with the team behind one of Chicago's fastest growing Bitcoin startups. In each episode, you'll gain firsthand insight on topics ranging from entrepreneurship and operation strategy to technology and cryptocurrency market analysis. Whether you're looking to level up your trading acumen or you just want some alpha on how to run a startup in crypto land, you'll hear about it on Team Call. So who's already on? Beaksy's co-president, Bay Abbott, in addition to James Carney and Steve Savacleos, who head up the marketing team, and Cooper Craighead, director of customer support. Let's join in.
Just getting bullied by Ethereum right now. I think the total gas to move everything is like $700-ish.
No way.
Yeah. It's incredible.
Wow. He's not doing great right now. I saw that it's like, I don't know, like at a 2-month low against Bitcoin. Plus the getting bullied by gas fees is never great.
Yeah, it's just, it's an obstacle for ETH right now. They just need to get the gas down.
Yeah, what's going on with Bitcoin? I heard it. We touched 57 yesterday, but it looks like we're down a few points in the 24 hours since.
That main resistance was at 56.5K, and then it didn't flip that to support. It kind of just got rejected this morning. So I think it'll retest that again. But if it fails again, the next support isn't all the way down until like 42.5K.
Yikes.
Yeah. The purple line of destiny.
It's hard to tell what the macro sentiment is right now if I had to pin it. I'm reading stuff. People are starting to see Bitcoin as a safe haven again. The mining hash rate is now, I guess, a third of it's now in the US. So the US is the leader in the mining pool hash rate, which is cool. But yeah, hard to pin it because you also see tons of regulation FUD, IMF, asking for more oversight. I don't know. It seems like the stuff, at least with US Congress, has died down a little bit. Not that, the legislation isn't pending anymore, but it's not front and center stage. So I'm curious to see where we're going in the next 2 weeks, macro sentiment wise.
Yeah, we had Jamie Dimon come back in yesterday with a obligatory Bitcoin is worthless bi-yearly statement.
Yeah, I love these guys. They just think they can get a lot of Twitter excitement rolling when they just trough in with a line like that.
Yeah, it definitely could be that. I don't know why we as a community take the bait every time.
Well, because all their banks...
Don't? No, I guess that was very poorly phrased. I wish we did it, but yeah, I guess Fair. I get why we do.
Unless I'm mistaken, though, like all their banks are making moves to allow clients to purchase Bitcoin and hold Bitcoin through them. So yeah, I don't know why they come on and has no intrinsic value every 6 months.
I think ultimately they just have less control. You know what I mean? When you look at equities, they have dark pools. They have so much control over what happens and they can direct the market where they need to. And, when you're losing that power, it's a threat.
Yeah, it's kind of like commonplace by now because everybody knows it. And so it kind of pains me to say it, but the lack of centralized control in Bitcoin continually, I think, scares the shit out of people. There's just like, I think, power players are used to being able to make moves with the advantage of a lot of information on their side and the ability to pull a lot of levers to make their predictions seem prescient. But this is like
definitely
a black box for everybody.
A lot of the information asymmetry and equities. That's the other thing too. From the top down, it's completely transparent. So like if you're just participating in crypto and you're a big, BlackRock whale or whatever, everybody's seeing exactly what you're doing at all times, which I don't think that's the way they like to play the game.
Definitely not.
What did I see on Twitter today? Something about like somebody was pointing out, which one of these people that like watches Nancy Pelosi's investment moves and stuff like that. But they're pointing out that like Jerome Powell has like 11.6 million invested with BlackRock of his like 66 million net worth, and BlackRock's handling all of the Fed's bond purchasing.
Yeah, I feel like those types of conflicts of interest, like politicians or bureaucrats of any type, just really don't get any significant heat for that anymore. Surprising.
No, there's still I think it was senators who right before COVID knew that there was going to be a huge economic downturn and liquidated millions of dollars worth of stocks. People brought it up repeatedly in the media, like, hey, this happened, and then nothing.
I think one of them was it like Loeffler or something in Georgia. I think her husband was actually the president of the New York Stock Exchange. Just so bizarrely conflicted.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And there was just no fallout. Nothing.
It's weird because it all gets aired in public multiple times over and nothing ever comes of it. So I don't know. Or if they like can't be gotten on a legal technicality, or just nobody has the wherewithal or the motivation to go after them aggressively.
Must be nice, I will say that.
Right.
So what's going on with exchange ops today, Cooper? Are things looking up? I know we've got some listings pending. We did Tezos a week or two ago, and then we've got a few more in the pipe ready to roll.
Well, as far as what we were supposed to be listing yesterday and then today, I'm still waiting to hear back. There's still problems, I guess, with block parsing, which I'm a little surprised to hear because it was working before. Okay. By the way, sorry if you guys hear a lot of loud noise in the background. The party house across the street is already going at 10:30 in the morning. That's kind of awesome.
Yeah, good for that.
On a Wednesday.
Yeah, on a Wednesday.
On a Wednesday, wow.
Apparently there is a Penn tradition called Hay Day, which is the celebration of juniors becoming seniors. And normally it's held in the spring, but they didn't hold it in the spring because of COVID. And so now they're holding it today so that they could do an in-person thing, which is really funny because I feel like in the spring you probably had less of a chance of getting COVID at this point with the Delta variant. But
I think cases everywhere were lower then.
Yeah. So instead now there's just going to be a bunch of drunk seniors wandering around all day.
So you're in a college town. Better get used to that.
So. I'm like blocks from the college.
Oh wow.
That's an Ivy League school, right? Should be some sophisticated folk over there.
Yes, some very sophisticated drunk people.
That's why Cooper wears his tweed jacket when he goes out, with his scarf. You really don't want to be seen in anything else.
Yeah, no. Got to make sure that it has like the elbow patches and anyway, back to the listings. I am waiting to hear back on that. It is not necessarily a 100%. It wouldn't necessarily be a 100% blocker, except that I can't test because of it. So I want to make sure we've tested transactions coming and going and everything on the back end, and it works, but we haven't done like a full integration test through trading, deposit, withdrawal on the front end to make sure that all of the pieces are lining up correctly. And obviously we don't want to push something live until we make sure that the end user can actually use it. Like it's all well and good if back-end functionality seems great, but so hopefully they will get back to me shortly and let me know that it is working. Let's see, what is tomorrow? Tomorrow is
Thursday.
Right, but it is Day of Defenders and Defenders of Ukraine. So
I should have known. I forgot. It's on my calendar.
Holiday. So they will be out until Monday. Right. Really hoping that it is up and functional shortly. Otherwise, it seems like we'll be waiting until next week.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, regardless, it's exciting to have some movement on that front, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's like on the finish line. It's just before we can give it a green stamp, it needs to pass these final tests. So.
Okay. Steve, how are we looking with SEO ops? All quiet on the SEO front.
Well, yeah, I'm still waiting to get our articles back to edit for this week. And then I'm going to do one, finish up the one for payment providers, just kind of tie in like the need for FX brokers to be able to bring in money and then like kind of how that happens at like the top providers for right now.
Oh, okay, cool. I think that one will be especially relevant. We can maybe like direct people to it other than for the SEO value, like direct people to it, new brokers, that kind of thing.
I think we have a lot of good reference material now to make, to design a landing page for that.
What do you guys think it should be called? Bay and I were toying around with that the other day. Like, we just call it like CFX. We call it Beaxy CFX swap. I don't know.
I like CFX. I mean, CFX is pretty crisp to say. Sounds good.
Okay. That's good.
Rolls nicely off the tongue.
Yeah. Something like that. That's short and sweet, because I feel like it has to have its own like branding.
Yeah, I think it definitely is easier to get taken seriously not calling it widget.
Yeah, exactly. That's like the meta term for all these things. So you can't you can't call it that.
Right. And it's just a silly word.
It's like the unofficial slang term for any like micro app that exists in tech. So we can't call it the widget.
Oh man, if we could like trademark that somehow though, it would be amazing. Yeah. If Apple hasn't already done it, I'm sure that we can't do it.
Or like George Lucas.
Droid, because it's a shortened version of Android, was originally used in Star Wars. So like Motorola had to pay him tons of money.
That's incredible.
To use that for their phone. I don't know where it originated, but the name for the little like nitrogen gas releasing object in a can of Guinness is also called a widget.
Interesting. The thing's actually great. I used to drink a lot of Guinness, and makes it nice and distributed.
Yeah. I think it also erodes the can if you don't. Like you can't just put nitrogen into the can for some reason, or it like dissipates or something. Like there's a reason that it has to like come out of a little pressurized thing. So, okay, we've got the 2 listings. We've got SEO ops. We've got bots pending. There's some folks out there that want to know what's going on with Gunbot, but unfortunately the debugging is kind of at the whim of the folks who are writing it right now. So kind of whenever they have time for it, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I know that they have quite a few reports in on this latest build, and they are probably working through those towards a next release. Send another message asking for just kind of a general update and checking to see if they need any more information or testing from me. Previously, when they've been about to go to release, and this is hit or miss, they'll give us a test build first to make sure that whatever they've implemented is actually going to work on the platform. So hoping maybe to get that and check it out. All right, cool. So I finished the call script by and large, pending base edits for the CFX widget, whatever calling it right now. Call script and email script for new brokers. Like Steve, I know you were working on emails to existing broker clients. So I've kind of put together a pitch script for an email to new brokers if we should need that, which kind of helped write the phone script. I have a semi-polished walkthrough that I can share with you guys for the user. I did a little design work on it, etc. So most of these package items for the widget that we were going to give to the brokers for their clients are looking pretty buttoned up / finished. So we should be good to go there. They did want to throw together like an integration best practices portion that I still need to write because of things like putting it on your homepage instead of in your My Account or deposit funds. Yeah. So Cooper, I don't know if there's more of those than that one. I'm aggregating a list / typing out best practices to avoid that. Always test before going live. That'd be a good one. Like, don't get me wrong. I wish that it would have just like worked right out of the gate and we'd be like off to the races. But at the same time, you did what? Yeah. I guess multiple things that need to be fixed in that process before we do another integration for a client. But I mean, sending Bitcoin around and stuff. If I am personally sending more than like $500, I like send a test transaction first to make sure I've got everything right. Yeah. I can't imagine just jumping in with like tens of thousands of dollars while the test transaction is still pending and hasn't gone through completely. And just being like, well, here we go. You guys are eager to get going, They got moves to make. I guess so, but it's also like, how do you still have money? I don't understand. If you're like that gung-ho and like that unprotective of your funds, how exactly do you still have that much money to just like throw around everywhere? How have you not just lost it all? Yeah, or maybe it's just such a small amount in terms of what they're used to that it's like, a drop in the bucket. It's also possible. Right. Well, we have to write off another $30,000 today. What's going on in Dubai right now? Is there like a Bitcoin conference of some kind? Dubai? Yeah,
I don't know if there was an official conference. I know my understanding was that it started for like boxing matches. Like I don't know if you follow something, but so they like set up a bunch of boxing matches for people on crypto Twitter,
like
which I guess are taking
matches?
place. Yeah, I thought they were supposed to be yesterday. I know like there's actual boxers included in the card too. But that I'm pretty sure was like the basis of them all going there.
So so it's not like an official conference.
Crypto Fight Night, so. October 16th.
Is that what it is? Yeah. I hope they stream that. It'll be fun. Like if you could see like Loom Dart and people like that boxing, that would be hilarious.
Yep. Main bout, Rookie XBT versus Loom Dart.
Yep. That's gonna be so funny.
Wait. Like break this down for me. This is an actual boxing match for like dudes on crypto Twitter are gonna go box each other in Dubai.
I want to say, yeah, it started the idea like around like this spring. I think jokingly people were like, we should all get together in Dubai and have a boxing match. And then Mo is just kind of there and like has a ton of pull in Dubai and like got a venue and promoters and got it all set up. And it's like a legitimate sanctioned boxing event.
There's like
it's crazy.
So the co-main event apparently is like professionals in a bout for the WBC Asia Heavyweight Championship belt. Loom Dart, who has traded crypto since 2014, added, "There's something beautiful about being able to say getting involved in crypto has led to me fighting some dude I've never met before."
It's so random.
I can't wait for these to be regular events and let people get revenge for getting dumped on. It doesn't say what the full card is, unfortunately. It just says that that's the main event. But
so separately, this is kind of funny. I don't know why. Like, I don't know if I'll leave this in or cut it out, but like I'm on our Twitter account right now, like just keeping it up in the background. And I've got like Western Union ads running like on our crypto Twitter account on Beaxy Exchange. It's like 170 years of innovation and leading with purpose, building technology bridges between people. And I'm like if like 5% of this goes the way it's supposed to, you're going to be a dinosaur in like a year. Hopefully. So advertise away, but I think Western Union's such a shitty company. It's unbelievable.
Unless they figure out how to adopt crypto and put it into their business model.
Yeah, I think that's what MoneyGram's idea was. It sounds like after XRP got sued, they like dropped whatever they were doing with XRP and moved to Stellar. So like MoneyGram's still like steaming ahead just with Stellar now.
I mean, I think to a certain degree, like it goes back to our conversation about banks and adoption and like moving forward and everything. It's like you could go back to late 90s, early aughts when, the idea of streaming services, of like being able to receive media online and not in physical form was like the most daunting thing for the RIAA and the MPAA and like all of these huge organizations that exist for, decades and decades. And now like everything is streamed, everything's online. Almost no one buys, comparably like buys physical, like packaged media anymore. The idea of like Napster and MP3s was supposed to completely destroy the recording industry, and it ended up being effectively like the way forward. So,
but it did, to be fair, it did like totally fuck the record industry like first before it became the way forward.
It did, but I feel like a large part of that was resistance. Like,
yeah, that's true.
If the recording industry had been like, well, this is super interesting, like, what can we do to like adopt this? What can we do to make this our own? Instead of just like chasing around a bunch of developers and fighting legal battles and like annoying people for.
But sometimes I don't know if like I was in their shoes, if it's just blind resistance or if it's like there's too much infrastructure already laid down this path, like too many debts, too many bets already made on the old way of doing things for them to change it, right? Or change it like in a time frame that would, keep them relevantly competing. So yeah, sometimes it's like, it seems like maybe it's more of that, hands tied kind of thing.
And I think that definitely makes sense. Like if you already have like your physical distribution network set up, you have no money invested in like any sort of digital infrastructure,
That was kind of Blockbuster. I mean, that was Blockbuster's problem to a large extent because they invested in so many brick and mortar locations.
Yeah. I mean, even Blockbuster did try to go streaming.
Yeah, like right at the very end.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
to miserable results, but
in their death throes, use our streaming service. It's just as good as Netflix, I promise.
Yeah, we have some titles.
Too little, too late.
Well, I mean, I think that's the thing. Though, is like the difference in comparison there is that banks have, like, comparably speaking, banks already have pretty much all of the infrastructure in place that they would need to adopt crypto. Like, the concept of moving large amounts of physical money or gold or anything else around has been effectively dead for decades. So like everything already has been on computers, already, was digital. Really, I would say going back as far as like the 70s, like was when that like movement really started. So
the interesting case with Western Union, if I'm just like looking at it without the benefit of a lot of the inside information, is like, I think that even if they were able to leverage like a blockchain solution internally, like again, they have kind of a Blockbuster problem with so many brick and mortar locations around the world. Like in every major city around the world, like they have tried to put as many locations so that people can pick up their money at as many locations as possible. And it's so many paid employees at those brick and mortar locations that I don't know if they can afford to lower their fees enough to compete with like the decentralized network fees of sending Bitcoin, for example. Not saying they can't, but these are going to be some of the huge challenges that even if they can overcome the mentality gap and, go with blockchain, curious to see if, they'll be competitive in the remittances market, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the main, I guess, use cases for them was for people that don't otherwise have access to the types of infrastructure that would allow you to, like, say, send a wire, for example.
Because, like a bank account.
Yeah, because that's all you're doing.
Yeah.
Like when you use Western Union, you're sending a wire transfer. That's
you're actually sending a telegraph. That's how they started. They were like the telegraph company.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess it's just a message saying, I want to give this person $50.
Yeah. And it's, I think, more expensive and like all the other things. So, the sort of available to all model of crypto definitely is threatening in that regard. But, I think particularly, as we said, with major banks really fighting adoption, there's still the idea of this need to be able to have an on and off ramp. And I think that if, I think it would make sense for them to be able to like scan someone's like Bitcoin wallet address and be like, okay, we're going to, you want to send $500 to this person, give us the Bitcoin, and on the other end, they'll receive $500 US.
Yeah.
With like no middleman.
They should hire you as a consultant. Maybe you can help save them from the impending doom. Like, listen, here's what you guys need to do.
That sounds absolutely horrible.
It's kind of like a slow moving train wreck from the outside. Like if you were watching like a stagecoach company in like 1920 or 1918.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's like, well, we know where this goes.
Like, I don't know how to tell you this, guys. It doesn't look good.
The weather is going to get stormy.
I mean, I do wonder, like what they are doing internally. Like, what is because to a certain degree, they have to be kind of shitting themselves, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like that's what I mean. Like, maybe they're just fat and happy and whatever. They've still got some revenue stream. And I would wager. I don't know. I would wager there's some percentage of these big companies that don't see the kill shot coming. You know what I mean?
For some small, where was this? For context, so obviously the last 5 years of the stock market has been pretty wild. Like if you just held anything and didn't make money, that would be a pretty spectacular failure. So 5 years ago, their stock traded at 22.57. Today, it is 2019. So adjusted for the inflation, a clear inflation in the stock market, that's a pretty big loss for me.
Yeah. Not doing great.
Yeah. So the market sees it.
Wonder if everyone's going to short it and then magically, like, it's going to get to Reddit and they'll resurrect it a la GameStop.
I don't think, hopefully people, I think most people that use Western Union are kind of resentful of Western Union, well, at least the sender, maybe not the, maybe like not the receiver. Maybe not the receiver, the sender is.
You're going to charge me how much?
Yeah. They don't have that warm, fuzzy feeling of AMC or GameStop, that like comforted you as a kid.
I don't know. I'm still pretty resentful at GameStop for most things.
Oh, really?
Like a big part of their business model was like you go in to like trade in a game,
and they give you like nothing for it.
Yeah, they give you like $1 for a game that they're going to turn around and sell for 30.
It's a genuinely insulting amount.
Yeah, just like
$5 in-store credit.
Yeah, like not enough to even pay for the materials that like physically made the object. And then on top of that, I think at the beginning of the pandemic, their CEO labeled all their employees as essential workers and was still making them go to work.
Oh my God. Holy shit.
Yeah. We're entertaining people. We need to be in there. What?
We're going to have a line around the block of people coming into GameStop during the pandemic.
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, it remains to be seen, but I think we've, planted some flags in the sand here about the impending doom of Western Union. See how that pans out.
I trust that prediction more than any of my crypto price predictions.
Yeah,
so.
Definitely.
Thanks for joining us on Team Call. We'd love to connect with you outside of the podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Beaxy Exchange and at Bade Bitcoin. You can also find us on YouTube by searching Beaxy Exchange and at Beaxy, BEAXY.com. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Until next time, cheers.
Thank you for calling